On today's episode of Wrong Side goes international. A vacation update from me and my family in Italy and Michael and Meg in Hawaii. Excited to bring you guys this episode. We're going to touch on the NBA playoffs a little bit as I am wrong side once again with the Timberwolves going down 3-0 and the Celtics being up 3-0. No interview this week, so just going to be us yapping about vacation and other stuff coming up, but we have some great interviews for you guys coming up, as well as an awesome interview with Sam Blum from last week, so go check that out. Excited to bring you guys this episode, and let's go. Buongiorno, wrong side. Coming to you guys straight from Positano, Italy. We've been here about 5 days, was in Rome for the last four before that. I've been having a great time, me, my sisters, my parents. The longest vacation the five of us have ever taken. It's been awesome. A lot of history, a lot of beaches, and hey, how can you beat this view behind me here? So that's been absolutely amazing. Um, Want to start with an NBA playoff update. The Timberwolves going down 3-0. A lot of Anthony Edwards slander going around with him not scoring 20 points in four of the last six playoff games up until these last two. I want to get a few things straight as well as get a few opinions from the listeners here. First and foremost, Anthony Edwards is still a star in this league. He has proved that. They have shown as a team that there is still a place for defense in the NBA. And the NBA is pretty hard to watch night in and night out, 82 games a year. And it's almost a different sport, a different league once you hit playoff time. The way the teams play defense is different. The way they hunt matchups is different. And even though the Dallas Mavericks are doing their thing, the Luka meme still rings true today. A Chrysler 300 looks like a phantom until a phantom pulls up. That's not taking away anything from Anthony Edwards, but Luka Doncic is probably top two, top three basketball player in this league. At 25 years old, he's one of those young stars that we've been talking about through these playoffs, and it looks like he's headed to his first finals at 25 years old, which is absolutely outstanding. And one thing I've had a problem with throughout that series in particular is Rudy Gobert, the Defensive Player of the Year award in general, and kind of how that's been handled. So the first question is, what is the Defensive Player of the Year? Traditionally, it goes to a center. Centers they block shots, they rim protect. Sometimes you get guys with good hands that rack up some steal numbers as well. Rudy Gobert has two or three at this point, but this is now the second series in a row that they're talking about benching a multi-time Defensive Player of the Year. Understanding Rudy's getting up there in age and he may not have the steps he once did, I'm kind of beginning to hate this award. Yeah, he's an effective rim protector. He's great in help defense, but when he gets pulled out against Luka, even Jaden McDaniels, his own teammate, was like, this game's over at the end of game two, I think it was. So a couple years ago, Marcus Smart won it. He was a great perimeter defender, and in a league where they're shooting the highest three-point numbers of all time in NBA history, a perimeter defense is obviously important, but what is really the Defensive Player of the Year? Personally, I'd like to see someone like Kawhi, maybe Jimmy Butler, a long wing who can really effectively switch 1 to 4, get consideration for the award. We don't see that a ton. Maybe even Jaden McDaniels. He's been super effective even in the playoffs, and I heard the guys on TNT talking about how traditional centers almost become unplayable in the playoffs at the way they hunt matchups. And I I think it's kind of a poor showing to the league in general that we haven't evolved, that award hasn't evolved with the game. I know Victor Wembanyama, obviously he's another 7 footer, more of a traditional center, but he's doing things never before seen night in and night out. So maybe he ends up having that combination of size and speed to be able to switch all over the floor effectively. But obviously that still remains to be seen. So it's it's been tough to see. The Timberwolves did still stake their claim on defense. The slander against Anthony Edwards was true. He has not been shooting very efficiently. Over a 3 or 4 game stretch, he was putting up literally Dylan Brooks numbers from the year before. So they were hot. They got hot at the right time. Winning Game 7 in Denver was absolutely huge, but they got deflated a little bit, a little tired. It's hard to win an NBA championship, and and that's another reason for it. So I don't want to take anything away from the Timberwolves. They still got a great roster. They just kind of fell flat at the wrong time, while the Mavericks are getting really hot at the right time. It's great to see Luka smiling, enjoying the game. He goes through these stretches where he's almost impossible to watch with the ways that he complains about the refs, he complains to his teammates, he's lackadaisical on defense, and is just absolutely playing hero ball. I think the presence of Kyrie Irving, someone who is a little more mature, has won a finals in his age, is super important for keeping Luka centered, making sure he enjoys the game. And it's been great to see. Luka is doing his thing. Like I said, he's absolutely one of probably the top 2 or 3 players in this league. And I really, really hope he takes down the Celtics in the finals. I'm not even really going to touch on the Eastern Conference. The Celtics are better than the Pacers. I don't think this series is coming as much of a shock to anyone. And I hope they have a horrible series next series. That's all I can really say about that one. Um, Once again, I don't want to take away anything from Anthony Edwards, what he's done this year. At 22 years old, this is absolutely outstanding. He's got to bounce back. I have full confidence that he will. He's going to be putting in a ton of work this offseason, and it's going to be great to see what him and the Timberwolves continue to do, or maybe he jumps ship to look elsewhere. But other than that, these games have been starting 2:30 in the morning out in Italy, so haven't been able to watch much basketball. Really been keeping up with the clips and the commentary around it. Wish I could get to see that, but thankfully for the NBA's wax scheduling, the finals doesn't start until June 6th, so I will be absolutely locked in throughout the duration of that series, and very excited to see Dallas versus Boston. Interesting matchup. Probably never before happened in the finals, but please, Luka. Please, Luka. Moving into a little more of a vacation roundup. My mom, very Italian, as many of you know. This is her Super Bowl being in Italy. It's been an absolutely outstanding vacation. This coming Thursday, the 31st, is my parents' 25th wedding anniversary. So congrats to them. That's the reason for this trip. And this is the longest vacation we've been on with the 5 of us. I was a little worried at first how we do with all the walking, maybe a little arguments here and there, but we've been holding it together strong. The word of the trip has been gritty. It may not be pretty everything we do, but we get the job done. Most importantly, yesterday we did a boat tour to the island of Capri. We knew it was going to be a long day, but really didn't know what was in store for us. So we get picked up pretty much right down here behind me. It was a 3-hour boat ride to Capri. We were stopping in the grottos, didn't get to the Blue Grotto because that one was very small, and we were on a boat of about 20 people. But stopped at a few of the others, and the ocean's a little rough. That bobbing and weaving was not kind. There was a moment where both my sisters were over each end of the boat throwing up. My mom threw up as well. We were the only three. They were the only three of the 20 people that did throw up on the trip, but we made it. We made it to Capri, did a nice 2-mile hike there once we got there, and survived the boat ride back with no incident. So stuff like that. It's really gritty out here with disease, and it's been an absolutely amazing trip. We started in Rome, landed at about 7 a.m., so stayed up for about 22 hours that first day. We did a bunch of great tours. The Vatican was absolutely amazing. Too many stories to even remember. I'll put some pictures up on the Instagram, but it was absolutely insane. Same with the Colosseum. That was my personal favorite. And debunking the movie Gladiator kind of had me heartbroken a little bit. I did force my family to watch it late into the night the other day, so that was one off the bucket list to watch Gladiator in Italy, but I learned that the thumbs up, thumbs down gesture that Commodus does throughout the movie is actually based off a painting, and could obviously never be seen in a large arena that the Colosseum is. They had estimated that the Colosseum, this is a new estimate, holds 75 to 80,000 people. Not quite as big as the shoe, but still absolutely insane for the time. And they pretty much had a retractable roof on that thing. They had big tarps of some sort of cloth that the army would pull the ropes to bring in and bring out during the day. So we really haven't changed that much from the Romans, which I thought was funny. But Rome was absolutely amazing. Big city, a lot of shopping, a lot of people, the cobblestone streets. It was absolutely beautiful. And then down to Positano near the Amalfi Coast these last 6 days. This has been our view. This is the patio from our Airbnb, and it's been absolutely amazing. A lot of bread, cheese, wine, all that good stuff has been amazing. So we're going to do some clips with my family, favorite parts, right side, wrong side moments of the trip. Going to switch over to that now, but this has been absolutely amazing. All right, now on to the family interviews here with my sisters, Katie and Madelyn, debuting on Wrong Side from Positano. Katie, a senior at Minnesota, and Madelyn, a senior at Nebraska. It's been a while since we've all been together, with me moving out and them all still at school, so it's been great to be here these last couple weeks with them. I want to check in and see how the vacation is going for you guys. We'll start with Madelyn. I know she has a story she wants to tell from just a couple minutes ago, so how you doing?
Well, my heart is still really beating. We just had the craziest experience of my life. Not really, but like a little. We were walking on the town, looking for a little gift for our parents' anniversary, 25. Woo! Go parents, shout out parents. And then, all of a sudden, I'm walking. I look, and I'm like, oh, it's Mackenzie Ziegler. And then we're walking. I'm like, maybe it's not her. And then I turn around, and Joey's like, and he's like, is that her? And I'm like, I think so. And Katie's like, I didn't see. So I immediately, I duck behind the first, thing I see. Like, what is it?
Like a sign?
Like a sign. I duck behind a sign, and I'm peering behind the sign, and I'm like, oh, it's her! And she's with all these TikTokers, and then I got so nervous, and Katie's like, I'm gonna ask her a picture, and I'm like, no. And then I'm like, okay, go. And then I got so nervous.
And for the listeners who don't know who Mackenzie Ziegler is,
she's from Dance Moms.
And we grew up watching Dance Moms.
A huge celebrity here we just ran into in Positano.
Yes.
I stopped dead in my tracks. I couldn't move. I stopped dead in my tracks. I got back here, and I'm telling Mom and Dad all about...
I was fully mentally prepared to go say hi to them. And I was walking, we turned around, we passed them.
Twice.
And then we turned back around. I was like, okay, we're going to go say hi. And then she noticed there were other TikTokers too. And I was like, okay, do we take a picture with all of them or just the one? And we were like, all of them. And I walked past and like, no, we can't do this. We can't do this. Joey with the phone to take the picture. Madelyn just walking behind me saying, you go first. Yeah, we didn't do
it. They folded like lawn chairs, long story short. We walked past them twice, definitely looked real creepy. Madelyn was peering at them from behind a sign. I was like, we cannot be seen doing this. This is not good.
If we see them again, we have to do it.
If we see them again, they're coming on the pod. That's yes. For sure.
I told Joey to DM her, so...
I was not comfortable with that. She's probably, 16, 17?
I think
it's gotta be 18.
The girls said, oh, DM them, tell them to come up to our villa and we'll give them wine for being on the podcast. I was like, no, thank you. I don't want to be Drake. So I'm not going to do that. But if we run into them again and it comes up, maybe it's meant to be. So that was our last about 30 minutes.
It was like a right side, wrong side.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
I feel like more wrong side than right side. The picture, we don't have it. It didn't happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But other than that, we've been to Rome for a few days, now in Positano, headed to Pompeii and Vesuvius tomorrow. What are your right side and wrong side moments of the trip?
I'll go first. Right side, for some reason I'm obsessed with food.
She's been hungry the whole trip.
I don't know why. I've been eating so much. I've been loving it. Carbonara is my new favorite thing ever. And lemons. The lemons in Positano. Me and Madelyn are obsessed with this lemon sorbet thing.
They're about this big.
We're snacking on the lemon.
They're the size of footballs. No lie.
Sorbet inside the actual lemon.
It's the cutest thing ever.
It's so good.
I'm obsessed with it.
So your right side moment is food?
My right side moment is food.
Pretty good.
And then I have kind of there's been a few big wrong side moments on the trip. But my ultimate wrong side moment was in Rome. There's a lot of birds flying around, right? And we were at the Vatican. We had this whole haul to get to the Vatican anyways. We were already sweating and kind of gross.
So sweaty.
We finished our tour. It was beautiful, super wonderful, so pretty. And then we were leaving, walking out through an area very populated with birds.
Very.
And walking, and I feel something attack my shoulder. And I was like, did I just get hit by a flying bird? And then I look down and I go, guys, I just got pooped on.
Just like that.
And just like that, I had poop on my shoulder, on my cute little dress.
Right on the strap. Right on the skinny strap, too.
In her hair.
In my hair. And I laughed. I mean, I tried to take it the best I could. Some Italians were laughing at me, but telling me, muy fortuno. So very good fortune, I guess.
In Italy, it's good luck, and we were just leaving the Vatican, so we'll say it's a gift from God.
I think it's like a blessed poop,
rocket.
you know?
Turd rocket.
It felt like something genuinely hit me. But yeah, then we found this like fountain, like water fountain in the streets, and I fully just submerged my head under the water.
No second thought.
In
She
the
just
streets.
dunked her head.
I'm never gonna see these people again. Like, it was a shameless thing. I'm just gonna take a half a shower in the side of the Vatican. You know?
So I didn't know Italy like had this. They just have like faucets
Yeah.
randomly in the streets. They look super super old, like not quite like ancient Rome, but still pretty dang old. Like ice cold water coming straight from them.
It's good.
Drinking. It's signs for drinking water. So in Europe, like I feel like it's hard to get water. You have to pay for water at every
Yeah.
restaurant. So
So
just like
stupid.
have those just constantly running throughout the streets of Rome, I thought was very interesting. So that was something new that I learned.
Yep, and I now showered in one, so that's
She did.
that's pretty cool. That was my wrong side moment. We also threw up on a boat, but that was really pretty, you know, right side with the pretty capri and everything.
As soon as I heard her say, "I'm gonna throw up," I just threw up.
They were literally each on one side of the
just
boat throwing up.
I'm just mad no one took a picture of that.
Like in
happening.
the moment, if
I was in
someone
rough
took a
shape, so
picture, in
I
the
wanted
moment
to.
we would have been so mad. But
Well,
like
I think I would have
after,
laughed.
it would have been funny.
For content,
Yeah.
it would have been
This
awesome.
it would have been really good.
Yeah.
So,
So we made it
just
through
picture it.
that. Very pretty island, you know. But those are my main right side food, wrong side.
Poop.
Yep.
I think my right side. I thought the Trevi Fountain was awesome,
Yeah.
but also the cooking class that we did here was like up like 5 million stairs, and then down
Yeah.
the road was the cooking class. And I thought that was just adorable. Like we had this like little like Italian lady and her mom, and they were like screaming like "Ma!" and it was like awesome. We were obsessed. And the food was amazing.
Really good.
It was just fun. I don't know. Like I'm a horrible cook, but it was like fun.
Oh, it was
fun.
pretty.
Like
it was
me
pretty
and-
easy. You didn't have to actually cook too
Not
much.
at
They
all.
explained most of it, and we did some of the more simple tasks. We made meatballs. We made gnocchi, pesto gnocchi,
Tiramisu.
tiramisu,
Mhm.
little potato croquettes with mozzarella in them.
So
It was
good.
all amazing.
Katie
So-
was like in her element, and Joey and I were kind of just watching her.
It was so fun. I watched so many cooking shows growing up for God knows why, but I like know a
Before
lot for
who
some
knows.
reason. So when I was in the cooking class, I like kind
It's
of
really
knew what
fun.
was happening, and it was fun.
Yeah.
But so sweet, so cute.
That was fun. And we had some wine. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And then on our way from Rome to here,
about 4 hours.
literally immediately as I got in the car, I got car sick, and it was a 4-hour car ride.
Yep.
So that was quite unfortunate, really. And I was in the back seat, really
She looked rough.
deep breaths off the bat, and then he gave me a mint, which like I think mint is supposed to help nausea.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
It was good.
I might have just made that up, but it helped for like maybe 3 minutes, and then I was back to the deep breaths. And I did have like a plan in place of if I was going to throw up, where was I going to throw up? But it didn't happen. So I made it here, and then my mom and I sat in front of a plant when we got here because I just had to look at the floor for a while. While Katie, Joey, and my dad carried the bags.
So many
downstairs.
stairs.
So many
So
stairs.
I think that was probably my wrong side. I didn't get pooped on, but I've been pooped on before. So I
So
think
now it's
that was
Joey's
that.
turn,
Yeah,
I think.
Joey.
I have not been pooped on. Also, Madelyn is not known for the motion sickness. That's
No,
Katie,
I
Katie
think,
and my
like,
mom for sure. So that
weirdest
was
thing.
new for her. We learned that Madelyn now has to
Yeah.
medicate on
She's a
car
Dramamine girl
rides and
now.
boats.
Uh-huh.
So that's something we learned here in Italy. But good
It's
thing.
okay. It's
Glad
okay.
she didn't throw up.
And now we have another car ride tomorrow, and I'm about to be put over the edge. Like,
Just take the medicine this time. Now we learn.
I'm trying to be
take the
mentally
medicine.
prepared. I guess I'll have to bring my hoodie just in case of emergency again.
And it might be a bus. Like, we don't know what it's
I don't
supposed to
know
be.
what's gonna happen, but whatever.
We
I
might
It's a
mean,
lot of trying new things together as a family, which has been, like I said earlier in the episode, grit has been the name of the trip.
Yes,
We're figuring it
for
all
sure.
out together, and we are doing pretty good at it.
We
so.
don't give up. I mean, we're
Mhm.
older, we're a little bit more capable, we would hope, and we're just trying our best, and some bodily functions are happening from that, you know, some throwing up, and it's okay.
like
Yeah.
Italy is like beautiful, but
Yeah.
it really has taken a toll on me.
Yeah, the stairs and it's built. The city is
stairs!
built into a mountain.
Who knew you had a train before you came
One-
here?
Millions of stairs to get literally anywhere.
Yeah.
So that's been
Oh my God.
a little wrong side. But it's
But it's
you
good for us.
you can't
It
beat this
is.
view. You can't beat this town or this
Well,
country.
also-
so.
Eat more food.
The pasta. I won't even lie. I've had like 4 pieces of bread at one meal. And so I'm like walking up the stairs and I'm like, okay, well, I'm burning it off because we have to walk up 200 stairs to get here.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
So at least we're burning it off. And my 4 pieces of bread, oh well.
The staircase, the people on the staircase is also like a
It's a
team.
community.
It's a
Yeah.
good camaraderie. Like you're walking up and everyone's like, you got this. Like more pasta for you after it.
Limoncello.
Limoncello. They're hyping us up. We're hyping the other people up too. There's also cats. A lot of
A lot of
cute
stray cats.
that are nice. I know not everyone's a cat fan, but they're very calm, very nice. They're just sitting there. So the stair environment's right side for sure.
Shared suffering is always a good way to bring people
It
together.
is.
And
Amen.
you could hear the people like right outside our door. We're on
Yeah.
like a little
Oh
lane.
my God, they're like,
And everyone just, a lot of languages being spoken. Everyone just kind of smiles
Yeah.
and nods at you as you're going up and down. So that part's been
It's
pretty
cute.
funny, but it's been good.
it's been fun.
Anything you're specifically looking forward to for the rest of the trip?
Oh, God.
We got a big hike coming up, Pompeii and Vesuvius tomorrow, and a one night in Naples.
The wine tasting.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Wine tasting in
I'm
Pompeii.
really not looking forward to the car drive anywhere.
That's
But
okay.
the wine tasting, more pasta.
Pompeii should be pretty. I heard the food
Yeah.
in Naples is really good. We don't really know much about Naples, but like we're staying there for one night. But the dinner there should be really great. And yeah, more shopping.
More shopping.
More
Maybe
shopping.
getting a picture with
Oh.
Mackenzie Ziegler if we're lucky.
We'll be on the hunt for them tonight.
Fingers crossed.
What about you, Joey?
For what?
Anything you're looking forward to?
Pompeii and Vesuvius should be really cool. Dad and I have been talking about this throughout the trip. Like, Pompeii was like very much like a disaster. Like, we're going to see like the ruins of the volcanic eruption and everything. But then they still Vesuvius is still an active volcano.
I
Why
didn't know that.
build a town right next to the one that got destroyed by the volcano? So
That's
interested to
wild.
kind of I don't know if
I
it's
don't know.
tone deaf to ask that question in Pompeii
I
tomorrow.
don't think so.
Oh,
But
tone deaf.
I'm looking forward to that. I like the history side of it. The food and the shopping is great, but I want to be a gladiator. So ancient Rome was sick.
That movie was fire, and we should probably see the second one as a family.
I think we
Wow.
should too.
That's
That
like
comes
a
out in November,
cute
I
little
think.
moment.
It comes out. There's a second one coming out. Oh,
Mhm.
nice.
That was like cool. I like that movie.
Good family moment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
yeah. Great trip so far. A couple more great things to look forward to. And the girls will be coming back on the pod for their own interviews, maybe later on this
Yes.
month while they're home for the
Oh.
summer. But pretty solid debut, girls, and
Thanks.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. That's all. Bye.
Next up, debuting on the pod, my father, Chris Zolnierek. Dad, how you doing? How's the trip treating you so far? What's going on?
I am living the dream here in Positano, Italy.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Can't beat this view, right?
No, couldn't have found a better place if we tried.
Mm-hmm. So, as we did with the girls, want your right side of the trip, your wrong side of the trip, and any other good stories you may have from our time in Italy so far.
Well, the right side of the trip, I think we'll start there because, we can phase into some other wrong side commonalities. Everything's been great so far.
I agree.
Flight was good. Transportation. Well, we had a little bit of an adventure getting the suitcases and finding our place in Rome. But, for those of you who haven't been here, Rome really should be the test market for any suitcase with wheels. The streets are all like ancient brick, and it put all the suitcases through quite a workout. But they seem to survive all right.
So far, so good. Yeah. So the way it was sold to the kids, at least, was a train ride from the airport and then a 15-minute walk to our Airbnb in Rome. We're like, okay, like obviously none of us have ever been here before, so didn't really know what we were signing up for. After a few trial and errors of figuring out what street we were on, everything's in Italian, obviously, we start the walk. And at first it's not so bad, it's paved sidewalks and everything, but then we start going uphill. And then it starts turning into the cobblestone. And then you're not much as rolling your suitcase as much as dragging it down the street. And it was a rough go. After being up for about 20 hours or probably like 12, 15 at that point, a long flight, it was truly a test of grit to start out this whole thing. But we all made it. It was all good. Everyone carried their weight. So, that was good test market for all the suitcases. I like that.
Yep, definitely. But, highlights in Rome, I think my number one is the Vatican. You could spend years in there just looking at each piece of art, understanding the background of it. I mean, the place is phenomenal. It's huge. I truly believe that, they told us at the Coliseum that all of the marble that was in the place originally was stolen. I think it was stolen by the Catholic Church and put into the Vatican.
Oh yeah, not surprised there. It was the most like, I don't want to say obnoxious. I don't know what the word is, but everything is just like dressed to the nines. St. Peter's Basilica, I think, is the largest church in the world. It was absolutely absurd. Everything decked out in marble and gold. So it was absolutely beautiful, but almost a little overwhelming with all the different pieces we ran through. It was like a speed run of the museum and everything. So you saw a ton, but you almost didn't get to really appreciate the depth and the stories that each piece had.
Yeah. Our guide was fantastic. She
Yeah.
did point out some highlights, but literally you could spend a day in each individual room that she took us through.
Oh, yeah.
She took us through quite a few rooms.
Yeah. What about any right size in Positano? What else are you looking forward to for the rest of the week?
Oh, Positano's been wonderful. Our VRBO is fantastic, as you can see. Great view. I'm starting to I don't know if I'm coining a new term, but I believe that Positano should be called vertical living, because everything is up or downstairs, including the Verbo that we're in, 3 floors. So a lot of steps, and the glutes are looking pretty darn good these days.
Good way to burn off all the pasta too. But
Yeah.
vertical living for sure. And yeah, the black sand beaches, kind of brutal today, honestly. I walked down there, had the slides on when we walked out to our spot on the sand and tried to run to the beach. And I started running like Jack Sparrow to try and get out there. My feet were burning. But I think, what do we think? It's volcanic is why it's black sand.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It's beautiful, but I was like, wow, it's a suffer for sure.
And if you have a flashback to when we were in COVID and you and I watched the movie 10 with Dudley Moore, there's a scene in there where he's on the beach on the hot sand and he's trying to walk across it and he steals towels from people and he's throwing one in front of the other. That's exactly what needs to be done.
I needed to do that. It was rough, but yeah. Positano's been great. We got Pompeii and Vesuvius tomorrow. It's just been absolutely amazing trip, and shout out the parents for letting us come with them. So it's been awesome.
It's the last one, by the way.
That's fair. After all this, and not ending on a high note is pretty fair. Moving into the wrong side of all of it. What do you got to say there?
Well, the wrong side yesterday, and the girls may have talked about this already, but there was a lot of vomit.
Yeah.
And for some reason, most of the family, with the exception of me, has a problem on boats. And actually, you did okay, so that was good.
I was in rough shape at the beginning, but I did survive.
Yeah, but all 3 of the ladies vomited at one point. So, but once they got over that, even when we stopped at one point to take a dip in the Mediterranean, which it was a must do.
Oh yeah.
And the second they got in the water, they were all better. So, that was kind of a highlight.
Yeah, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
I know you had another wrong side story to tell that he didn't even give me a heads up on what this is going to be. So,
well, since there was a lot of discussion about vomit yesterday, and you asked me to come up with a wrong side moment, and I wanted to try to tie in the vomit theme. I kind of immediately went back to a story of a weekend wedding. It was the summer of 1980, and my brother Steve was actually going to Ferris State University at the time. He was marrying a woman from Big Rapids, Michigan, where Ferris is. I had friends that were already in school at Ferris, had been to visit him a couple of times. The big thing you do in Ferris in Big Rapids in the summer is you get an inner tube at a tube rental. You get a special tube just for the cooler.
Oh yeah.
You load it with alcoholic beverages, and you go sit in the water for an hour and a half and drink your brains out under the sun.
A few of my friends did that on the Olentangy in Columbus as well.
They're brave people.
Mm-hmm.
the Muskegon River is a little bit cleaner than the Olentangy. So it was an extremely rough weekend at the brother's wedding. John and I had driven down there from Alpena together. Brother Mike came. I can't remember if he was living in Lansing or Traverse City at the time, but the 3 of us were standing up in the wedding. And we were hitting her pretty hard that weekend. I think there might have been some records set. But the Sunday morning after the wedding, Brother John had met a lady friend who was also in the bridal party, and a few of us decided to go tubing the morning after the wedding, which we didn't have time to do, and we didn't want to head back to Alpena quite right away. So we woke, well, I shouldn't say we woke up. We came to at some point on Sunday morning,
Yep.
Probably late morning, and nobody was really feeling any very well, but we decided tubing was the move. It was a beautiful day. Do some tubing, maybe get some food after that, and head back. Everybody go their way. Well, obviously, being a little dehydrated from from the past couple of days' events, we decided that the beverage for the flotation device was going to be screwdrivers.
Okay.
Yep. So lots of vodka, lots of orange juice, lots of time on the river, lots of sun, no breakfast.
Yep.
We float down the river for about an hour and a half, and we get to the end where the car is parked, and there's a huge flight of steps, not unlike here.
Uh-huh.
And stand up out of the tube, and all of a sudden it kind of hits you what's been going into the tummy there for a while, and start going up the steps, and start feeling a little bit queasy, and I'm kind of dragging behind the pack, and everybody's come on. And I'm about 3/4 of the way up the stairs with my tube, and all of a sudden this orange flow that had to be about this big around comes spewing out. Almost like what you'd see in Pitch Perfect, except for it was real. And I just kind of dropped right there. It was over the side, so not too much mess, but can't recall much after that. I think they came down and helped me get up the stairs, and got me back into a vehicle, and don't remember much immediately after that. Do recall though later on, Uncle John and I were heading home, and going down M65, bought a lot of trees, a lot of deer, and we hit a deer on the way back. So that's a whole other story, and we'll leave it with the orange projectile vomit.
Solid. Great wedding weekend, it sounds like, and glad everyone survived, at least for the most part, I think.
Yep.
Nice. Well, I know you've also been reading your Founding of Ancient Rome book. What's the coolest thing you've learned on this trip so far?
Well, it's very interesting. It's much more. Even at the time they were writing the history back, 400 or 500 BC, and as Rome evolved, there's a lot of mythology mixed in with the actual facts.
Mm-hmm.
So a general may have they said he was away during a battle, but what it seems like most likely happened was that he heard an invading army was coming in, took some of his closest cohorts and left, so he wouldn't be captured and killed. So there's all these moving pieces, and the historians of today are trying to figure out how much of it is actually factual.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I know even, like, we watched Gladiator, they had gotten the estimate of the Colosseum wrong. They said 50,000. We recently heard it was closer to 75, 80. And another story that one of the Caesars had been taken away by the gods and kind of lifted up in the rapture in a council meeting. But as we're learning, in reality, what more likely happened was the Senate cut him up into little pieces and snuck him out under their robes. So
yeah.
The Romans, the Italians, are prideful people, maybe didn't want to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth at the time. But it's cool that that something as old as this, it's still being uncovered as we speak today. There was archaeologists at the Colosseum actively working on new projects, and new things are getting found out every day, which I think is really cool too.
And there's still a lot of construction going on in Rome. So Rome, in fact, was not built in a day. It's still being built.
Still being built. Yes. We'll leave you guys with that one. Hopefully that hits you guys on the way home. Dad, thank you for a great debut on the pod, and that's all for now.
My pleasure.
Alrighty, our first returning guest in Wrong Side History, Mama Z, in studio today in Positano. Cheers.
Salud.
this trip really you got to chalk it all up to mom, the Italian one in the family. This has been a big bucket list item for her, as we had referenced before. This is all really centered around my mom and dad's 25-year wedding anniversary, so congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
How's the trip been so far? What do you got to say about it?
Trip is amazing. The started off in Rome. Rome was amazing, fantastico. Meravigliosa is my big word. And I mean, the Vatican, the Trevi Fountain, the Colosseum, one was more breathtaking than the other. I can't even tell you. I mean, for many of you who have been here, it's amazing. Now we're in Positano, gorgeous. Just look.
Yeah.
I mean, I always say it looks like a puzzle because I like to do puzzles, and it truly looks like a puzzle. And every day, I don't think I'd ever get tired of this. It's amazing. That's all I can say. I'm so happy. As Joey said, 25 years, we wanted to do something special with our family, and we did it. And I could cry about it, and I won't, but I'm so happy.
It's been awesome, and the people too. Most people speak English. The only other European country I'd been to was Spain. I was in Barcelona for about a week, and a little easier to get around here. I thought we've been speaking a little bit of broken English, Spanglish, Italian throughout the trip, which has
Yes,
been
we
good.
have.
But everyone, what they say about the Italians, it's all pretty valid. They're all funny, they're loud. It's been great. Everyone's been super nice, super helpful to us. So
Yep.
it's been just an outstanding time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about having all three of your kids here as well?
So, straight into the right side, like that would be my right side. Just being with the family, spending time, new experiences, new adventures. Amazing. Nothing more we love as moms is to be with our family. And gosh, I'm sort of emotional. I have to not do that. Maybe it's a little bit of the vino we've been drinking today, but really, like, spending the time and experiencing this beautiful country with like my four favorite people is better than anything on earth. So I'm thankful for it, and it's great. I think I heard Joey say earlier with the girls, we are gritty. We are gritty. Don't necessarily do everything pretty, but we are gritty. We get it done. We do what we want. We get there.
We get
there. And that's sort of funny about us. Like, we are not world travelers,
No.
but we have seen amazing sights. We've talked to great people. We sat on the beach in Positano and we burned our feet.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, black sand, not a good idea. Just in general, not a good idea. Burned our feet, but amazing experience. Every part of it, the food, the people, the culture. But for me, most important is being with my family. As the kids grow up, we don't get as much time. So this is, wow, we'll talk about this forever.
Yeah, definitely will.
Yep, for sure. For sure. So I'm so happy. Every moment I'm happy and smiling, like total cheesy mom, but it's what I do.
It's been fantastic. I wanna talk about the food a little bit. The cooking class we did yesterday, you were holding your own with how to make the meatballs, how to do some of this stuff, which I was really impressed by. Obviously, your cooking at home is amazing, but do you think, how different has it been versus just like an Italian restaurant at home? I think the pasta's different, the sauce, the way everything complements each other is different. So like, what's been your favorite meal? Like, how have you thought of the food so far?
So the cooking class was great. And, I might take a couple shortcuts with the meatballs. But, you learn the bread, not the breadcrumbs, the frying, not the baking. Amazing difference. But I think the cooking class, the biggest thing that came out of the cooking class truly for me was the family. It was a daughter that taught us, and it was a mom that taught her.
Yeah.
And mama was part of it. And it really is all about family and time together. And that was so awesome. And Joey says I held my own, which was amazing.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about what not to do versus what I do right. But we will implement that into our daily life for sure. I think that my favorite meal was simply like the pasta with the red sauce and a little bit of the pork in it. And it actually reminded me of my grandma Ann's pasta, which
did,
was
yeah.
a great memory. She has passed away, and we sadly didn't get that recipe growing up. And it was like a throwback to me growing up, and amazing,
Yeah.
so good. And we also learned that, and I'm so sorry I forget the name, Gennaro or
Gregano?
Gregano. There is a city near Naples that exports most of the pasta. The Barilla, the Del Chico, some of the other pastas you
I think it was
see.
the seven of like the biggest brands in the world or something all came from this one town.
Oh my goodness, amazing. Like, I'm so excited about that, just to know like I passed through the town that makes the pasta I love.
Yeah.
And but the cooking class was truly a highlight, I think.
Oh yeah. And
And
we didn't do anything super complicated. Like I kind of
No.
talked about it earlier, but the head chef, the daughter of in the establishment, she was hilarious. She was talking about asking questions like, "Oh, like use bread or breadcrumbs?" Most people were like breadcrumbs. She was like, "No, dumb Americans." Like really roasting these people. There was a Southern family in there. She was really getting on the mom at first. I thought the mom wasn't gonna like that, but everyone was a really good sport about it. It was a fun vibe. They were pouring prosecco as we were doing it, and she was hilarious. She gave us big hugs, kisses on the cheeks as we walked out, but. It was awesome. Mama was great. She loved me. I helped
she
her out a little
loved Joey. We loved Mama.
bit. Uh-huh.
We love Mama. And growing up, like, I call my mom Ma. My mom and my aunt call their mom Ma. And their grandma was like Mama. It's really like, it's cool. We're like third generation Italians, but just being here, like, we laugh. We're like, the homeland, the
Yeah.
motherland. We're so far removed, but it's so awesome.
So far removed, but there are still some similarities that like you got to smile that like we do still have some of this, and I think it makes me at least appreciate like what we do have and even get further interest in the culture outside of just like ancient Rome and the gladiators, which is always
Right.
super fun for any 20-something boy to get into. But like the food, like I want to cook the meatballs, dip the bread and all that stuff.
Yep.
So I'm excited. I'm gonna try and learn the language a little more.
Me
We
too.
both did some Duolingo before the trip. Didn't last super long because you start at basically a kindergarten level. It gets boring quickly, but it's just been a fantastic trip. And you hit on your right side being with family.
Yeah.
I think that's also been great. And like you said, we've been gritty. Like nothing's been pretty. And I think that kind of lends itself to your wrong side story if you want to talk about that.
So my wrong side, yes. So my wrong side is, I think, an adventure to the Vatican. We're trying to be adventurous, so we're walking, and we stayed at a beautiful town in Rome, outside of Rome, called Trastevere. Gorgeous, perfecto, and 20-30 minutes. So we're following the GPS, and we're a little bit behind. We made a few wrong turns up a few hills more than we should have. All good, no problem. Well, then we end up in a tunnel, legit in a tunnel, like those of you from Chicago, like the Hubbard Street Tunnel. The four other members of my family are saying, it's fine. No, not fine. We are walking through a tunnel. Shouldn't have been a pedestrian crossing. And I'm like scared, and everyone's walking ahead of me. I'm like behind. I could have been like whooshed away. Not a problem. I would have probably been happy.
I was with you.
Joey stayed close for sure. By the time we got out of the tunnel, like, Chris's face was black. My white jean jacket was now black. We walked through the tunnel. So, needless to say, we made it to the Vatican in plenty of time.
Mhm.
The wrong side is we didn't know where we're going. We didn't know when to call it and say, hey, we need an Uber. We need a taxi. But we made it.
So there's a pretty strict dress code in the Vatican, not quite as strict as we had thought it was. We're all in pretty much our Sunday best doing this. So we're walking around. It's hot in Rome. We already knew it was about a 25-minute walk, and we were going to be sweating a little bit as we got there. And then we get the tunnel. So
The long tunnel?
Well, I'd say it's quarter mile at least.
More.
We were probably in there 15, 20 minutes. And we were walking pretty good, but really, I think there was a pedestrian crosswalk, but I couldn't tell you for certain whether or not the pedestrians should have been down there. So we were on this like little sidewalk that you basically had to like balance beam walk on, like bend your like head around pipes and stuff. And we get out of there looking like we're from Mary Poppins. We're
That's
soot
exactly
covered.
right.
We're in our Sunday best, like wiping off the dirt and everything. And it's like, oh my God. And it was rough for a little bit. We were running there, like not really just following the maps, like probably
Sort of irritated with each other,
Yeah.
for sure.
Again, gritty. We it wasn't pretty, but we got there. It was plenty of time. Wiped off with some paper towel, wiped the sweat away, and it was all worth it.
For sure.
But yeah, that was our first moment of grit.
Yeah.
For the record, she had said earlier in the trip, this is going to be like the amazing race. We're going to get everything done. We're going to do it. And those words came back to bite her very quickly. We were in there. We're like, yep, this is the amazing race. This is what you said you wanted, right? Right. And she was pissed. Not
happy.
Not happening. She's like, no more tunnels the rest of the trip. The Vatican ended up being absolutely beautiful, as was the rest of the trip. But that was definitely a low moment. We were in there for quite a while. At first, I'm like, oh, this is easy. And then the longer we went in, I'm like, I'm not quite sure where we're going. Long story short, the directions we had pulled up weren't even to the right place. So then it was another 10 minutes after our original walk had estimated. So that was I would say one of the lower moments of the trip, one of the wrong side moments of the trip for sure. But we still made it plenty of time for the tour, and the Vatican was absolutely beautiful.
And the Vatican was gorgeous. Like, honestly, stunningly beautiful. You don't know where to look, where not to look, what you're in. Half of it, honestly, you have to study it for years to understand the meaning of it, but it was breathtakingly gorgeous. So thankful we did it. We laughed about it after, a little too soon for my liking that we laughed about it, but we still laughed about it. And gritty is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Gritty, we finish it. And the kids went shopping today. Chris and I were sitting here on this gorgeous terrace. Like, this is our view.
Yeah.
Come on. And we're playing cards, drinking wine, talking. And we're like, we travel well together. And we did. We do.
Everyone plays a role. And the roles are constantly changing. Everyone just kind of falls in.
Just do it. Mm-hmm. We do it. So again, wrong side tunnel, right side family, right side time, right side experience. So much right side outweighs the wrong side. Right side wine. So we keep trying the wine, like different wines. We seem to like the white more than we like the red. And we keep trying different wines, and also right side.
Oh yeah. And we're not wine people. I think it's hilarious when they're like, oh, you want the little tasting? And I'm going like, oh, like, yeah, for sure. Like, what's going on? Like, no, like all wine is good to me. And it's all been awesome.
Yeah.
So, other than that, family time, it's kind of a cop-out answer between what you've seen, what you've bought, what you've eaten. What's been your favorite part so far?
Okay, so in Rome, I will say I loved the Vatican. I can't tell you exactly what I was looking at every moment, but it was gorgeous. Coliseum, I learned a lot. Yeah. And we watched the Gladiator, and I enjoyed it. I've never watched that before. Trevi Fountain was they all were so good. Yeah. Trevi Fountain, I think, was majestic and beautiful. We did our wish in the Trevi Fountain. But I would say out of Rome, like, the Vatican has to top it off for sure. Here, the view. You can't beat the view.
There's a little couch behind us. You can't really see it that well. There's like a little couch down there. Not really a good view of it, but I could have sat out here for the 6 straight days that we're here and been very, very happy with my stay. So it's been insane. And the churches too. There's a couple churches here that we just popped into. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, back in the day, they didn't really have much else to do than drink, worship, stuff like that. Say what you want about the Catholic Church, but what it did for art and architecture, like, it is absolutely just stunning. Like, you can't take that away for sure.
For sure. Absolutely true. The other thing is the community. It seems like we eat long. It takes a long time to eat. So it's all about building the community, which we tend to forget back at home. We just rush to the next place. Where here it's like you have a cup of coffee, espresso. We've enjoyed the espresso. We're making it. We're drinking it. We've enjoyed it. and it's all about the relationships, and I love that. And one more thing about the food, it's so fresh.
Oh,
The
yeah.
fresh veggies, the fresh fruits, everything is just beautifully fresh, which makes me want to really do a beautiful garden. I'm not promising that, but it would be awesome.
Oh, I could already see it. She's gonna start decking out the house in marble and red and gold like the Vatican.
I
She's
love
gonna start growing whatever, and it's gonna be. She's gonna start speaking the broken Italian she's been speaking all week at home.
I'm trying my best. I mean, again, so happy, so proud we could do this together, so excited to be together. So sappy mom, that's what I do. But again, you can't beat it here at this, I mean, picturesque place. I've done puzzles. I keep saying the puzzle. I've done puzzles that look like this. Now I'm here, so I'm so thankful.
It's been amazing.
Yep.
We're kind of in the downhill of the trip now. Only a few days left, sadly. Still like 4 days left, but we got Pompeii, Path of the Gods coming up. What are you most looking forward to if it's not just eating more pasta? What are you looking forward to?
I'm very excited about Pompeii. I've learned a lot. It's trying not to sound ignorant, but I'm learning a ton of history and appreciating it more because I'm here. So I'm very excited to see Pompeii. That is a tomorrow trip, a long trip. So I'm sure that's going to be amazing. So I am looking forward to that. What about you?
Ooh, good question. That's going to be a good one. Not really sure what we got for the Path of the Gods. I know it's pretty long. People have said it's a lot of stairs and a lot of up and down. So Pompeii and Vesuvius, I really like the history of it all. And I already talked about it with Dad. Like, why did they really rebuild all these towns right next to the active volcano? So I'm going to try and ask that question if it doesn't sound insensitive. But yeah, that's really all we got. That's what I'm looking forward to most. I haven't done my right side, wrong side yet.
Oh, go.
I think my right side's got to be the Colosseum. They did talk about the movie Gladiator pretty much as soon as we walked in, debunked a couple things that we had already talked about. But that was my favorite thing, between just the beauty of the building and the history that we learned there, and then the forum around it with the different the hills of Rome that they were built on, little Romulus talk. That was probably my right side and the thing I liked most. Wrong side moment for me, I've been doing pretty good. For families of 5, my sisters are twins. I'm the oldest boy, so I usually get thrown on the pull-out couch or the extra bed or any of that stuff. And I've actually had pretty good luck with all my sleeping arrangements, so can't even really say that. The closest thing I could really say to being wrong side was the boat ride to Capri. I didn't throw up, and the girls had already talked about it. She ended up having to throw up literally as we were pulling into the dock. So she made it literally 99.9% of the way there. I was in rough spirits at the beginning. They had some medicine on the boat, so I ended up bouncing back pretty well. But I don't like being motion sick. I am not fun to talk to when I am like that. I'm sitting with my head down. I didn't end up getting sick, but I was suffering there for a minute. But it was still quite a beautiful view. So if that's my biggest wrong side moment, I'm doing pretty good. So yeah, that's it. That's it from the Z's for now. Kicking it over to Sharber and Meg out there in Hawaii. 12-hour difference, very far Michael and I have been from each other. But hoping you guys enjoy this episode, and thanks for tuning in.
Aloha from Oahu. Currently on day 3 of island vacation. Look at this view. Obviously a little different than Italy, but just as gorgeous. Beautiful room here at the Outrigger. Went snorkeling today. Been laying by the pool getting tan. What a great start to a great vacation. Joey, thank you for shooting it over to us in Hawaii. Obviously, we know you're in Italy. Hopefully, you guys are having a great time. I saw your matching t-shirt poll. Personally, I think wrong side, but I will admit my family and I have done the matching t-shirts. We did the Almost Friday t-shirts with my face and the mustache from the composite, if anybody remembers that one from college. But that was a great one and definitely a good moment for my family and I. But looking at it now, maybe a little wrong side, but it's definitely great for the memes. Sports have moved on without us even being at home. Joey and I have been far away, but kept our eye on the game. Today, the Pacers have been eliminated. Boston moves on to the finals, and they are about to take on, most likely, the Dallas Mavericks. We don't know what's going to happen, how it will work, but Dallas looks like they are going to be the ones representing the Western Conference unless Ant can figure it out. My personal opinion, outside of just doing this by myself, I know it's a little tougher without Joey for back and forth, but my personal opinion is that Timberwolves are a good team. They're a young team, but they were built to beat Denver. They have a too big system, but they weren't ready to go for Dallas. I think Dallas has two great shooters. Meg's currently recording me on my own part right now, but I do believe that Dallas is a good team and ready to go against them because they were different than Denver. Denver played a big man with Jokic and Murray and tried the pick and roll game. Michael Porter Jr. was way worse than he was in the Lakers series. I'm pretty sure he averaged like 17 to 18 points against LA and only 9 to 10 against Minnesota in the second round. The Dallas team shoots well. Lively obviously is going to be out tomorrow for game 4. I'm recording this on Monday, May 27th. But along with that, they seem to have dominated, and it looks like Luka loves taking on the one-on-ones. He made Gobert look like barbecue chicken at the post or on the three-point line in that last possession of game 2. Dallas looks like they're ready to go, and it looks like this might be Luka's best chance on getting a ring. And Kyrie, will this be a great storyline? I think so. He's coming back to Boston potentially. Last time he was there, he was stepping on the Lucky the Leprechaun. Oh, sorry for anybody listening. You're going to hear some sirens here in Hawaii, I guess. But that's going to be a great series. There's some great storylines. For the Timberwolves alone, though, and the Pacers, no Halliburton for games 3 and 4. They got hurt towards the end. On the Minnesota side, they're not eliminated yet. Game 4 is tomorrow night, Tuesday, May 28th. But they seem to be on the end. No one's ever come back from 3-0, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they handle that. On their side, Gobert, he's been embarrassed. Draymond Green, Chuck, Shaq, all of them on Inside the NBA has said, you cannot get hunted like that. And he was getting hunted. There was the screenshot, if you guys didn't see, of Jaden McDaniels in the background of when Luka crossed up Gobert. He knew it was coming. He felt like it was easy, and it could have been done either way. So that was very interesting to see. But we're going to see if Luka can finally break through. Someone said, I saw today on Twitter, that Luka is more LeBron and Ant can have Jordan and Kobe because LeBron's better. It was quite a comp because I've never really imagined Luka as the dominant, powerful instigator, but I guess some people do. But I just think he looks like a schlubby guy who plays a 24-hour fitness and can take your lunch money anytime he gets. So definitely interesting to see. Outside of that, shout out to Cleveland. I told them I'd give them the shout out. Swept the Angels. Obviously, everyone knows that that was a big wrong side series and everyone going to it. Still 0-9 for myself. I think that's truly remarkable that the Angels are 0-9 in my attendance. I don't care that they're 6-16 or 6-18 at home, but definitely a very, very interesting point to make because they hate that I'm here with them, and I guess they hate my support. But definitely going to keep trying for that win, and maybe who knows, next year or 20 years from now we'll make the playoffs. But not looking slim there. Along with that, NHL winding down. Dallas, huge comeback today, was up 2-0 on Edmonton and came back 1-5-3. They go up on a series later 2-1. And on the other side, New York is up 2-1 on Florida. Two great teams in the lead, and we will see if the Rags can get to the Stanley Cup Finals along with who will come out of the West. That's pretty much all I have for sports. Looking at everything else, nothing really else going on in football. College football, we are less than 50 days away from NCAA. If you still have not listened, please go back, check out the Matt Brown interview, follow him on Twitter, see what he's got to post. It's going to be a big week. I'm pretty excited. Getting under 50 days for this video game seems to be the way that people are ready to go. Things are being out. I will say one wrong side moment is that I believe that not having mascot mashup is a big negative. I don't care that you might not play it as much. I think it's a very big thing that was in the old game, and I think that's a bummer. I did see today, though, that the rumor I saw was there's not going to be a story mode in Road to Glory, which I do appreciate. I hope that we don't have to do some 2K skip scene thing. Those got old after a few years, and I was very interested in seeing how they would handle it. I'm very glad they didn't do it this year. So, college football game almost here. Shout out to the college football players. Oh, it's getting a little windy. I hope you guys don't have to hear that. But shout out to the college football players. They're about to get paid. NCAA lost a $10 billion lawsuit that's going to be paid out over the next few years with other players, old players, new players, and future players. Will get shared revenue from schools, university, and the NCAA. Along with that, the NCAA has now admitted that all universities are eligible to pay players. Some universities are happy, some are not, and it's surely going to be interesting to see. That's all we have for the sports talk. Now we're going to kick it to Meg, who's now going to join us and give us her wrong and right side, along with tone deaf moment and some highlights from the trip. Here we go. Okay, moved inside now for this part. Getting a little windy here in Hawaii. Had to make sure you guys could hear us. But Meg Halloran joins the studio here. Girlfriend, beautiful. Look at her in this dress. Looks amazing. Obviously, aloha from us. Meg, how has the trip been going?
It's been going well. The weather's been good. Saw some turtles today.
Okay,
Can't
what have you been
complain.
up to? What have you guys been doing? What have we been doing?
Well, you forced me on the 2 mile hike yesterday.
Okay. How are you rewarded though about the hike? How are you
Got some
rewarded?
donuts.
Okay.
Some Hawaiian donuts that were filled with guava, coconut, macadamia nut, custard.
Mhm.
It was good. It was good. It was a good reward, but it was a tough hike. A lot of stairs.
How did you feel after? Was it worth
Like
the hike?
that? No.
Not worth it at
No.
all?
Like not really.
Oh my god. Come on.
I feel like halfway up, the view was the same.
Halfway up we would say, okay.
It's-
Do you think they should cut the tour halfway?
I think they should cut it,
Or cut the hike halfway.
or just at least like have a sign that's like a disclaimer.
Same as
like
up
you
there.
don't have to. You don't have to keep going.
Okay.
I
Okay.
wouldn't have kept going.
Wouldn't have kept going. Okay. Outside the hike and the donuts seemed like that good. Well, what else have been some of the highlights so far? How was the travel day? How did you figure the travel day was? Saturday.
I feel like it wasn't bad.
I agree.
We did the Costco travel deal. Didn't expect us to get the nicer seats with the Costco travel. That was a plus. We got a breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, breakfast sandwich
crazy.
was gas.
That was
Breakfast sandwich was
crazy.
gas on the plane.
Michael's so surprised. He didn't hear them making the announcement. He just got rewarded a nice
Fantastic.
breakfast
Fantastic
sandwich.
reward.
What else did they give us?
They gave us a complimentary beverage, of course, and then when we were about to land, they gave us the
They
Hawaiian
gave us a cookie. They gave us a shortbread cookie. We were promised a sampling of Hawaiian rum. That did not come, but that's okay.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
around,
I
8 out of
missed
10.
I missed the announcement in the beginning, which was great. It was a big surprise, well worth my time to be surprised. Because who thinks you're getting a sandwich? I know it's 5 hours,
not
but
me.
like who thought you were getting a sandwich? So that was great.
That was good.
How did you feel like everything went along with? Tell the listeners what you did on this trip. Let them be informed of how the trip was started with the room and how we got here and what you decided to plan for us.
I think is that illegal?
No, it's
Can I
not illegal
talk
at all.
about
It's
it?
not
Okay.
illegal at all. Unless the Outrigger Reef is going to listen to us when it comes out on
I'm
Wednesday.
so sorry.
Tell the fans what happened.
Well, our friend Courtney and Johnny, they're getting married this weekend.
1 week.
And
Shout out Courtney and
1
Johnny.
week. And Courtney has a fake engagement ring that's a replica of her ring. It's beautiful. It was only $15, and it's used so she can go to like her bachelorette party and her honeymoon without having to worry about it. And so I took the ring on this trip, and it is our fake engagement moon. It is our engagement trip, and so with that, I said something showed something.
We were
to the
checking
front
in.
desk,
We were checking
and
in.
We got a nice room out of it.
So, yeah, Meg brought me this idea about a week or two ago, she told me. And I said, how would this work? She told me that she was going to make sure everyone knew. She was going to wear this ring around, make sure she would say it, be someone who just got engaged. And I thought it was crazy. I said, I don't know how it's going to work.
Everyone told me I was crazy.
I just didn't believe that they were going to give us anything. I thought, okay, congratulations. Not a honeymoon, that's why.
Well,
Wasn't a honeymoon.
my thought was, there's no harm.
Okay.
I'm not paying for the ring. I didn't spend $15. I just was presented this opportunity. The worst they can say is, congratulations.
Here's some drink coupons.
Or no, just
Or
go about your
nothing.
day. Nothing. It's like the saying, like, the worst you can get is no. Like, the worst you can get is nothing. Like, there's
Right.
no.
Right.
Like, it's just,
That's a good
you
point.
just move about your day.
So it did work, if anybody was curious. They did upgrade our room. We booked a Costco package with a queen bed and got that, and it was going to be a regular view. They bumped us to a suite.
Yes,
It's
we have
nice. There's a living room, a kitchen,
living room.
a nice view,
TVs.
a little balcony behind us where I was filming the sports one, so that was fantastic. Yeah, there's a living room TV and a bedroom TV. Even got like the cast. We were watching TV here with Netflix.
Yeah.
I will say when it was going down at the receptionist, I had my head down the entire time. I felt like I was going to be the one to blow it, 1,000%. So, but Meg stayed strong and she showed it. And, she was like, "Oh, that's definitely Oscar award-winning performance." I'll say.
Thank you. I've
Sounds
been
good.
practicing.
I will preface though for people wondering like, "Oh, did you guys just plan this and just didn't tell anybody?" No, Meg wanted everybody to know. So just to recap, her dad almost had a heart attack, had to pour himself a drink when she showed him the ring, which, Mr. Halloran, if you're listening to this, I apologize. I would never do that without asking. Number two, my mom and Moops in my house who were listening to Meg tell her that in and out, I did it. Very romantic. In and out in my clothes and in her leggings that she came off the plane for. Very romantic. And she did say that her friends from home, her high school friends, they didn't even notice. It took them like 3 hours. What happened
there? 2 hours and 3
No
minutes.
noticed.
No one noticed. To be fair, I let Sophie in on it. I let my I went to dinner with my friend Sophie and our two of our guy friends, Chris and Garrison. And I for sure thought, it's a big ring. Like it looks.
It's a
real.
rock.
It's a rock. It's a rock. And we went out to dinner, just the four of us, and I was like, surely they'll notice. And so Sophie and I were planning on like gaslighting them and be like, oh my god, like didn't you know? Like you knew, like I told you. And it literally took 2 hours for one of them to be like, wait, is that a ring on your finger? Are you engaged? And Sophie ended up blowing it, so it's maybe a good thing that you didn't look up because maybe I'm just a good actor.
Yeah,
but
that's good. Great actress. And now we have a nice room. We've gotten a couple extra desserts throughout the week, which have been nice. And that's been a success. So shout out Courtney and Johnny for that.
Yeah. And for the wedding.
And for the wedding, yeah. Shout out them. That's going to be the second half of this trip. We got a few more days in Hawaii. And then we're coming back home to California, spending a night, regrouping next morning on Friday. We're going out to Minnesota, get to celebrate the Deckers. Charlie, the celebrity, I'm pretty sure most of you know who she is, but she's a celebrity. She'll be seen there, but it's going to be a good time there. But in Hawaii so far, what has been tone deaf person of the trip so far? And for anybody who doesn't know who's coming to this because they heard Meg is going to be on, so we have new listeners. Tone deaf, we got people that just don't know what's going on. It can be someone you travel with. It can be something like that. It can be someone in Hawaii that doesn't know what they're doing. What is something that you thought's tone deaf?
I feel like you told me I'm the tone deaf person of the week.
Well, that was going to be mine. So what's going to be yours?
Oh my god. Probably the turtle.
Oh, this is half tone deaf, half wrong side. Just you can't get more wrong side than this. But go ahead. What happened during snorkeling today?
So we went snorkeling with turtles today, and we paid for the photo package. And part of the deal was that they were gonna do like a little video of us snorkeling, and then pan down to a beautiful sea turtle.
Everyone was getting these great turtles.
Yeah, everyone had. Oh, there were these two that were like kind of like kissing. Like they were so cute. They were like swimming together. And it's our turn, and we're trying to find the turtle because all the turtles, of course, magically disappear when it's our turn to have our photo shoot. And finally, the lady's like, "Oh, like here we go. Like here's one." It has 2 fins. Like it's like half of a turtle. It's like I'm so sorry. It was really cute, but it was literally like lopsided. Like it had like one fin.
It didn't have all its fins. That's the bottom line.
It was missing like
that's
2
the bottom
fins.
line. It didn't have
so it's like swimming like it's like having a seizure. And so that was our turtle. So that she like panned down, and the poor turtle's like trying to get away from
Yeah,
her,
I would say it's a little tone deaf on the photographer, not giving us a chance to get a better turtle. All turtles equally though, great. But you can't really be that. That's the definition of wrong side.
Yeah, and everyone else had a good turtle. Hawaii. There were like 3 turtles at one point, and I thought for sure I should have asked, but I thought for sure she was gonna like redo it for us. Like, oh hey, like I know your turtle was like. I feel bad. It was a cute turtle.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Anybody at the airport?
I feel like we should have gotten half off for that because.
Because half fin.
Half fin.
Half fin, half off. I see.
I feel like it's not tone deaf because I thought it was a genius idea, but it did throw me off. The guy next to us that was like just whipped out a full on like pump. No, you know who was tone deaf? The Dunkin' Donuts lady.
That's what I was thinking as well.
The Dunkin' Donuts lady.
The pump person. I was texting Joey on the plane about it. I said, "What's tone deaf?" This guy sitting next to me would blow out a full ass pump.
Yeah.
But when I saw what he was blowing up, once I saw it, I took back the tone deaf. No, it was a little.
The thing
It was
for
No, it wasn't the thing on the window.
Oh.
It was a little like air mattress for his kid. The kid was like still
Oh.
2 years old, so like they put it on the seat, and the kid just laid down in like this air mattress. So tone
Well,
deaf
now
in
I
the
feel
moment
bad.
for
But
the
no,
pumping.
the Dunkin'.
Yeah,
the
Dunkin' Donuts lady. Go ahead, tell them what happened.
I wanted the coffee. I was tired. I didn't sleep on the plane. And I wanted the coffee, so we went to the Dunkin' just right outside.
In Hawaii. We made it to Hawaii at this point.
Hawaii. We got off the plane. We were about to go get our bags. We stopped at Dunkin' Donuts. There was one person in front of us at line, so I thought it was going to take 5 seconds. This lady orders.
You said, and you said, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
I
Just
went to
tell
the
me
bathroom,
what,
and I
want.
told Michael what I wanted. And I get back, and this lady's still ordering. And Michael's just looking at me laughing. This lady ordered, like, you tell it better.
It was
there.
So Meg was like, hey, I just want an iced coffee with like caramel. I'm going to go bathroom. I said, okay. She walked away. This woman ordered a dozen donuts. This isn't like Hawaii Donuts at Leonard's or like a local brand. This is Dunkin' Donuts we have in the States. She got a dozen, and after she was like, can I actually have 2 drinks as well? So she got like a refresher and a regular coffee. And then along with that, once she's almost done, she's like, can I actually have 2 more donuts? And Meg came back. We noticed she had spent like $35-$40 at airport Dunkin' Donuts. And then when it was our turn, we were like telling the workers, she apologized to her. She's like, sorry that took so long. We're like, oh, no worries.
Well, the lady was like, I can't believe I spent $35 at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha.
And we were like,
and she was like, yeah, me.
Yeah, because you spent about 14 donuts at Dunkin' Donuts. And then we were like, oh, we just need 1 coffee. Thank you. And she was like, you could tell the worker was irritated. She was like, I'm just going to give you a large. Yeah. Thank you for waiting. And it was just like, we felt so bad that this, not to say like, yeah, we get it. It's her job. She's got to do that. But like, who's buying 14 donuts at an airport Donuts? Yeah. So like, who's doing that? So very.
Once you've already landed too.
Once you've landed, yeah,
like,
you're
it's
getting
not
there.
like you're getting on the plane and you're getting a little snacky.
Yeah. So that that was tone deaf. Obviously, I was excited about this one. I was expecting to rip into someone, but so far, I will say the main tone deaf. It had to have been today, unfortunately, for Meg. We're driving from snorkeling to lunch, and when I think it was when we were driving, and then we were like at lunch. This also happened, but we're driving to lunch, and it's Monday. I get it. You're on vacation time. Hours get mixed up. Days get mixed up, and it's Monday. We're recording this now. It's Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day. Thank you to everybody who served. Thank you to all of our fallen. Like, our families are truly grateful to live in this country and have you guys protect them, and that is what we are celebrating this day. Not for an extra day off, not for a hot dog, not for a beer. Shout out to those families. So thank you for your service. Thank you for serving us. Meg says to me, oh my God, today's Memorial Day. After snorkeling, it's like 1:30 in the afternoon almost at this point. And I'm like, yeah, it's Memorial Day. And then on the way to lunch again, she goes, what is MDW?
Okay.
Not Midway, not Maryland, not Midwest. It's weekend. Memorial Day weekend. So, tone deaf a little. I don't like usually tone deafing guests or family or girlfriends, but sometimes they're there.
Multiple times during the week.
I'm sorry. That was mine. And then obviously airport. Oh, let me go to my text. I have a ton with Joey, and I was ripping him throughout the entire flight because I just couldn't do it. Okay. This is what I live for, and I make sure that I wrote them down. So let me get to them. Okay, here we go. Tone deaf short list. Obviously, if you listened to last week, this was my Super Bowl. I love the tone deaf list.
I don't listen.
Tone deaf short list. This was when we left for the airport. So this is where it started. My bowels for not letting me go bathroom before the flight. I was pretty upset about that. That's tone deaf. I needed to go. I didn't want to go on the plane. I did see when we were in Long Beach, I don't know if you saw them. We were sitting here. They were across from us. They were cuddling on the seats with their shoes and socks off. They took their shoes and socks off and were cuddling on the seats.
Where?
In Long Beach. In Long Beach. She had her feet like on him, and they had like cuddling in the airport. Yeah. I saw it coming out of the bathroom. Incredibly tone deaf. Whatever. I said, let's see. Flip-flops on plane. Unexcusable.
That's something you would do. That's
no way.
No,
I would never. I would never. I have respect like that. I would never do that. Flip-flops on plane. I can wear flip-flops to a baseball game, to dinner. No way. I would never do that on a plane.
If someone came to me and said, someone wore flip-flops on the plane,
it would
I would immediately, my first guess would be you.
Yeah. You don't know me well enough. Then.
Okay.
That's not my way. Taking shoes off on plane. I understand some people do it. They want to shoes up. Anti that as well. Socks off on plane, straight to hell. Person next to me. This is a big
Me?
pet peeve. No, to my right. Sorry.
Oh.
No, not you. Right. This could be a healthy debate. Do you mind switching seats with my husband?
Oh.
What do
I
you
heard
think?
this on the radio the other day.
Here's my opinion.
Okay.
Hold on first. My first before we ask you.
Okay.
My opinion. Traveling myself to see you, traveling myself to see someone else, 1 for 1, no big deal. I think if you're with family, you're with your girlfriend, you're with someone else, I don't know if I would do that. Like I'm
Wait.
sitting, I'm coming in, and it's like I'm coming in and sitting next to you, so it's me and you, and someone's like, hey, like, do you mind if I have that seat, like the aisle? Like, let's say there's a third
It's like
person.
aisle for aisle?
Yeah, well, 1 for 1 is aisle for aisle. I have no problem with that. I'll make that trade. Like if I'm going by myself, aisle for. But let's say,
but like if you're with, is that what you're saying? Like if you're
well,
with
if it was
someone?
like for us, like, hey, do you mind? I have that seat. Do you mind if like my daughter and my husband have your 2 seats and you switch with them? But like they're not separate. If everybody's, I just think that if you don't pay for the seats together, I don't like that. It's not Southwest. I understand on Southwest.
Can't say no to people, unfortunately, and so they could probably ask to shoot me in the head, and I would say yeah.
Oh.
So
Put the explicit warning on this one, Michael. Put the explicit warning. Okay, you think you would do it? You would do it no matter what.
I'm a people pleaser.
People pleaser.
Unless they're like, hey, can you like sit in the trunk of the plane and like fly with the?
Okay, how about this? You get you have an aisle seat.
Yeah.
And someone says, "Can you switch with my wife back there?" She's a middle seat, the row by the bathroom.
How long's the flight? It doesn't matter. I would say
St.
yes.
Louis to Long Beach.
I would literally say yes. Yeah.
You're insane. Insane.
I'm just.
You would let them walk all over you like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
How dare you? You're better than that.
I'm really not.
You're so much tougher on me. Why aren't you doing everybody else?
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
Before we wrap up here, what's your highs and lows version, our podcast version, wrong side, right side? So wrong side, I think you kind of hit on it with unfortunately the turtle. But what about your right side? What's your best pwn on them? We're not dead yet. Hold on. Time out. Let me a tea. What's your right side?
My right side, probably the food so far.
Okay.
I was going to pick one, but I feel like I can't pick one.
Okay.
The donuts were fantastic. Shout out Mrs. Sharper for a lot of the recs.
Yep.
The poke, we stopped at some like random
poke bar. Yeah, just
bar,
right by us.
Right by us. It was delicious. Honestly, everything we've had.
Beautiful.
So good.
Great trip so far?
Yeah.
Is it nice that you didn't have to plan much and you just got to show up?
Oh,
Everything was
yeah.
planned for you.
Yeah.
Outside, great boyfriend.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I didn't know where we were going for a while. So.
You knew we were going, you just didn't know places in the trip. You knew we were going to Hawaii for months. That's been
I knew we were going to Hawaii. I didn't know what island.
Oh.
The Costco website was a bit vague.
Yeah, that's
so.
Okay. All right.
I knew I was going to Hawaii. I knew we had flights.
And
a hotel. And that's really all you need.
Now we're vibing. Okay. Right side for me, I would definitely say snorkeling was great today. I don't know if I would give my wrong side officially to that. I think the wrong side for me so far, my left shoulder got a little burnt. That's pretty early. Wrong side burnt this early. But I don't think it was.
Is it the wrong side though if it's your fault?
I felt like I was reapplying heavily. I mean, you kept saying, you're like, man, you're using a lot of sunscreen. So I felt like I
was like the first day when it was like a UV of 3. Yesterday you fell asleep.
I did fall asleep for a little, yeah. So, okay, maybe wrong side, my own stupidity of getting burnt. But it wasn't bad. Like, I'm not in pain yet.
Just, you're fine
just
today.
day 2, yeah, it's not that bad. And then right side, I think that right side was, which dinner was that? The Morimoto dinner, which was that the first night? Was it Saturday? They did, like, I thought the chopped, like, Kelby hot pot meal. Remember they did it in front of us?
Yeah.
That was really good. Like fried egg, fried rice,
pork
and it was like pork belly that was like cooking right in front of you.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That was like
really
I think
good.
one of the best things. And then dessert, the shaved ice.
Oh, shaved ice was so good.
Incredible.
They put frozen yogurt.
They do ice
on
cream on the bottom.
Oh, that was new for me.
I feel like I've always seen that,
Really?
but I never get it with the ice cream because I'm like.
We didn't really have a choice.
I also feel like there was no like what flavors do you want, like blue raspberry, like strawberry, like like I feel like when you're getting a snow cone it's like that, but
it It was
No,
really
great one here. And then rest of the trip coming up, we got a sunset cruise on Wednesday. We got some more great dinners planned, and then we got the wedding. So it's gonna be a nice vacation week. What's one thing you're looking forward to rest of the week?
good. Seeing Charlie
Seeing Charlie. Okay, shout out
and
Charlie
Amelia.
and Amelia. Yes, have to get both. So that'll be incredible. We're going to Minnesota for that. But that pretty much wraps it here. Joey and I missed you guys not doing it together this week. Opposite ends of the world, it felt like 12 hours apart. But next week, coming back to you, Joey and I will be back in action together. We're going to do an NBA Finals recap. We're going to talk a little football coming up. MLB's about 60 game in. We'll talk about Acuna and the injuries there. Along with that, give you a little tease next week on our upcoming interviews. We've set up some great ones and really looking forward to doing that. In honor of Joey, thank you guys for listening. Follow us at Wrong Side. And of course, stay blessed.